We are going to assemble the irrigation emitters. For long range, we would install sprinklers, which have a range between 30 and 50 feet and, for less than 15 and 20 feet, we would use spray heads. The spray heads water in curtain and the sprinklers have a rotary movement. In this case, we are going to install a sprinkler. The sprinkler must be buried up to this mark. If we put it lower, dirt enters in its body and it gets stuck. If we put it too high on the ground, in addition to being unsightly, it causes problems when mowing the lawn. We would trip over it and it would break. The pipe must be buried at a depth between 8 and 10 inches. To install the sprinkler, we need the following items. 1 socket collar, 2 3/4 to half an inch elbows, and 3/4 pressure tubing which, as you can see, has the widest wall. To install the collar, we first remove it. It has 2 screws. At the top, inside, we will find an O-ring that is the one that prevents the water from leaking. Sometimes it comes out, so it is important that it is in place when we mount it. To install the collar, we first mount the bottom. We place it on the pipe. Then the top. We make sure the O-ring is in place and tighten the screws. We mount the collar by tightening the 2 nuts, which are usually of half an inch. We are going to make a hole for the water to drain into the sprinkler. For this, we use a drill bit. The most useful are the wooden bits because they have a pointed end here that fixes the bit in place. We do it slowly, because, if we go over, we can make the hole at the bottom, which does not interest us. Only at the top. As you can see, a plastic chip comes out that must be cleaned inside the pipe to prevent the emitters from clogging. To clean the inside of the pipe, just open the irrigation and let the water come out. Thus, the pipe is cleaned of shavings, dirt, and any foreign element that may be inside. This must be done before burying the pipe. Now we are going to install the sprinkler. We are going to do it using the 2 threaded male elbows and the pressure pipe that I showed you before. We will have to put Teflon in the pipe, the half an inch elbow and in the 3/4 of an inch sprinkler. To insert the tube into the elbow, you can turn it, tighten at the same time. It should enter until nothing of the thread is seen. This system allows us certain comforts when installing. For example, we can manage the height of the sprinkler, or work in corners. It is not necessary for the pipe to go near the sidewalk, we can separate it a little. We will work more comfortably when assembling the sprinkler in place. We are going to mount the nozzle on the sprinkler, which is the element through which the water comes out. To work more comfortably, we disassemble it. When we buy the sprinkler, it brings a set of nozzles. We must choose the one we need. Each nozzle has a different flow and scope. In our design, we have already chosen which nozzle we need, in our case, number 7. We place it. We lower the screw that fixes it and reassemble. We are going to regulate this sprinkler to 90 degrees. If we turn towards plus, the arc is enlarged and, if we turn towards minus, the arc becomes smaller. We already have it at 90 degrees. We get to the heart of our irrigation facility, the controller. It is the element that controls the electro valves. On the screen we see the data that we enter, and we have a series of keys to enter the day of the week that we want to irrigate, the time that the irrigation begins and the time that each irrigation lasts. To connect the electrovalves to the controller, we have a series of cables. Each electrovalve has two cables. One goes to the common wire and the other to its own station.